that first ever top four finish in Super League in last week's 38-6 win against the Leeds Rhinos. It was their biggest win against Leeds since the 1980-81 season, when they also won by a 33-point margin. And 1980-81 was the last season in which Wakefield finished in the top four in the old First Division. Is that an omen? But the big question is, A, can they get over the Castleford Tigers tonight? And B, can they get on top of this electric atmosphere that is down here at the Menderhose Jungle? These supporters, many of course, have not known a night like this. And the first time in their 91-year history that Darryl Powell's men can go out there and finish top of the pile. And if they do it, Terry O'Connor, they will do it in style, because there are 5 games to go at the moment. If they win it tonight, they've done it with 4 in hand.
They've been absolutely incredible, haven't they? Formidable outfit all year, consistent, the freedom that they play with. If you think about it, Eddie, Castleford only has 40,000 people. There'll be 8,000 of those fans packed in here, watching them and cheering them on, hopefully to victory, if they're Cas fans. And the other 32,000 watching them at home on Sky Sports. Well, Wakefield, they're going to be here to spoil the party. And they made a big statement last week against the Leeds Rhinos side that nobody give them any credit that they would get over the Leeds Rhinos, but they're in the top 4, and they're in the top 4 because of their consistent performances all year. When you think about Cas, 10 years ago they were in the Championship Grand Final, and now tonight they're on the verge of clinching the League Leader Shield, led by that man, Luke Gale.
So we're just about ready. Oliver Holmes has returned to action at just the right time. Paul McShane has been in brilliant form from start to finish. There are talented players all over this field. Greg Minikin operating on the wing again, because that man, Greg Eden, Super League's top try scorer, is back in business. Michael Shenton, the Castleford Tigers captain, provides so many tries for Greg Eden. Will he be lifting that League Leaders Shield at the end of this 80 minutes? James Child is the match referee. He's ready, blows the whistle, off we go. History beckons for the Castleford Tigers. The atmosphere inside this tiny and compact ground is absolutely electric.
Well, both sides will want to hold on to possession, kick the ball well and really control the game. It's going to be very difficult for Wakefield up against this Cas side that came out for the warm-up, all smiling, all looking forward to playing in this atmosphere, and it's a big test for both sides, but Cas have to be favourites.
Dean Hadley operating at dummy half gets the ball away. It's a big miss that Kyle Wood isn't there, but Hadley is he is versatile, that is for sure. Here he is again now, carrying the ball forward. Good run too.
Say he's versatile, Eddie. He played centre, didn't he, the last time they played Castleford on this ground?
Yes, he plays all over the field. Oh, and a mistake, fortunately for Milliken. That ball went backwards and Hardacre was there to pick up the pieces. Good start by Wakefield.
This is the area where they need to keep Castleford penned down near their own line, but there's a mistake here.
To knock on.
Yeah, Wakefield have forced a mistake to kick the ball to the corner. They put pressure on the Tigers.
And have a look at Anthony England's response after this knock-on decision is given. He's in there, in the thick of the battle. There he is over the top. He gets up off the floor and he really celebrates. Look, he's up for this.
Well, that typifies for me the intensity that both teams have started this game. The Trinity side know they can't give an inch to give themselves a chance in this game. Everything's set for Castleford Tigers to put their mark and put their place in history. But this Trinity side that are a matter of miles away from this very ground, they're not going to lie over and allow that to happen. If Cas are going to do it tonight, they're going to have to fight as hard as possible.
Yes, Wakefield aiming to be noisy neighbours here this evening. Carry on where they left off against Leeds last week. This is Liam Finn. He gets the ball away. Was that a high shot? It was by Luke Gale.
Okay, Danny.
And he didn't like it. Danny Kermon did not like what he saw then. It is a local derby. Tensions run high when the stakes aren't as high as they are tonight.
And they'll be all friends off the pitch as well, but it means so much to both of these sides. Wakefield, nearly you can't really go for 2 points here. It's a clear penalty, it's a high tackle. Good footwork at the line from the youngster Max Jowett.
Yeah, Luke Gale, wasn't it?
I think you've got to keep the pressure on, you've got to keep on going, but I think Liam Finn's going to go for the 2 points, take those 2 points.
Well, having lost the last game to them by a drop goal, 25-24, just a few weeks ago, last month I should say, it doesn't surprise me that you want to go 2-0 ahead inside the first 2 minutes.
Caught a glimpse of Chris Chester and his right-hand man, John Keir. As John Keir is a former Castleford player, he is a former Wakefield coach, and he was the man who led Wakefield to victory. There he is on the left of the screen with a big smile on his face.
Having a whale of a time,
isn't he? He is. He led Wakefield to victory in that relegation dogfight between the two in 2006. He got the upper hand that night. Will it be the unique double for John Keir here tonight, denying Castleford, a club which he has a lot of fondness for, by the way, denying them their first ever League Leaders Shield. Liam Finn with this penalty, strokes the ball over the top of the crossbar. Safety first from Wakefield, 2 minutes gone, 2 points ahead. Supporters happy with the start they've made.
Well, it's the first points on the board, but I think that man's team is going to go out there. They're going to throw caution to the wind. They're going to like to open up this game. And I think you've got to score some points. Every time you get down there, you've got to go for the throat. You've got to come away with at least 4 points, maybe 6.
So Hardacre gets us underway again. High and hanging kickoff. Oh, it could be too long, this. It could be too long. The adrenaline is flowing. And he gave it too much oomph. And that's a penalty on halfway to Wakefield.
Well, you look at this for the start of the game. Just over 2 minutes gone. They've made a mistake down near their own corner. They've conceded a penalty. Now on the back of conceding that penalty, they've made another mistake. This all plays into the hands of Wakefield.
Zach Hardacre topped the table with the Leeds Rhinos 2015. It would be the second time in 3 seasons if they get the mission achieved tonight. But Wakefield are in the mood to ruin the party. Here is a Rona, gets it away to Danny Kermond. Kermond, only his 18th appearance of this year, but coming into form at just the right time as Wakefield launched their bid for the top 4. This is Arona. Hadley is the dummy half, spreads it wide and finds Finn. Finn then looks for the runners. It's Miller, short pass, and a good job that Roberts and McMeekin were there. Oh, Hadley, he fooled them all for a moment and came back, and they muscled up in defence, did the Tigers. But look how close Wakefield are on the very last tackle this set. It comes back to Miller, who's in great form last week. Gets it away to Finn, they're running this. Ball back on the inside to Kermond. He just had a little fumble, and it was a knock-on. It must have hit a Castleford body on the way.
Well, just a little drop-off play. Trying to bring the experienced Danny Kermond back against the grain. Looking to target some of those smaller defenders. They can't do that, but they turn over the ball in good field position yet again. We saw what it meant to Anthony England. The first set of the game, when they got off the line, they were pressuring Cass. And here's one man you've got to stop.
Great offload. Here's the other man you've got to stop, Zach Hardacre.
They've got so many dangerous players, haven't they, Cass? In the forwards, they've got speed out wide.
And they've got this fellow, one of the top second rowers in the business at the moment, Mike McMeekin. Gets to within 8 metres of the halfway line. McShane gets it away once more to Roberts. Down he goes.
The good numbers in, making it nice and slow for Cass.
Massey taking on Mason, Caton Brown and company.
Just look at the control Paul McShane's got at 9. I thought he ran Zach Hardacre really close for the man of the match last week. He'll have to be at his best again.
That'll do Max Jarrett's confidence a lot of good. Took the high kick nicely, then took the tackle from Webster. Oh, great offload that was by Bill Tupu, and he gets Ben Jones-Bishop away. And Ben Jones-Bishop makes 20-30 good metres for the Wakefield Trinity side.
Well, it was good line speed from Cass, but then all of a sudden they get the offload away. It opens up the middle. Last person you want to have the ball is someone like Ben Jones-Bishop.
Liam Finn. Reece Lynn now for Wakefield. Another one who had top game last week against the Rhinos. There's Hadley. And England will plough the ball forward. 10 metres inside the Castleford half of the field. Last tackle coming up. Liam Finn bound to put boot to ball, which he does. It's high. Greg Eden's underneath this. Eden claims it, and Kermond claims him.
Well, as soon as Greg Eden's foot touches the ground, all of a sudden Kermond was in. Takes him to ground. Again, the line speed from Wakefield. Working hard from Marker. Hadley and Zach Hardacre come together.
No love lost here tonight. No love lost whatsoever. They're still carrying on the argument and the debate.
Oh, Eddie, so much at stake. There's no way Wakefield are going to come here and watch Cass at the end of the game lift that silverware.
Good decision by the ref to just let it fizzle out. Let's get on with the game.
Jesse Senilafeo gets it away to Ben Roberts. Mason Caton Brown and Big David Fafita doing well, bringing him down on halfway. Last tackle, Gale. That was not played out, so the tackle count continues. It's a flick over the top. Jesse Senilafeo following up, but Jowett does well again. Hasn't played in 9 matches as Max Jowett. Only his 3rd appearance in the Super League this year. Here is Reece Lynn again. And Wakefield get the penalty because Marcus weren't standing square.
Well, a couple of good early touches from the youngster Max Jowett at the back. He's been tested, he's come up, he's answered those questions. But Cass are the side that you see the way that they've been playing. Although they give this penalty away here, this is the word that they wouldn't mind giving penalties away, not near their own line. But when they do make a mistake, all of a sudden there's enough players around the ball to get hold of the ball and kick it down the field. But I'm sure Darryl Powell would have talked about the attitude of Wakefield rocking up here to the Mendenhall's jungle, saying, look lads, we've got to be on our game here tonight.
Liam Finn drops the pass off to Fafita again. He takes them on down the middle. Hadley waits once more, goes left and finds Liam Finn. Finn then to Miller. Miller wide to Mason Caton Brown. Mason Caton Brown is grounded by Jake Webster, bit of help from Minikin as well. Bill Tupu, new deal signed for him today, by the way, the dummy half on that occasion. 3 years with Wakefield. They're building, Wakefield, they're building for a big future. Here is Hadley. This is Miller. Good on his feet is Miller. Good tackle, though, was required. Now it's with Finn. Finn, crossfield and high. Eden's underneath this. Eden claims it in goal and he wants to get on with it quickly, Greg Eden. And he can. And he has support. Whoa, he was lucky to get away with that. Shenton picked it up on the bounce.
Well, that's just the mentality of this team. All of a sudden, they catch the ball behind the try line. The man bringing it back, Greg Eden, the speed that he's got, he wants to get it back centre field on the 20-metre mark, tap it, and then look to attack Wakefield down his side.
Can I just ask you about the mental state of Greg Eden? Because when we were last here a couple of weeks ago, we saw him score that try in the corner. He looked as though his season was over with a badly injured shoulder, but he's back here tonight ahead of schedule. What will he be thinking about every time he takes the ball in as Castleford get this penalty?
Well, they said before the game, all he's got to do is make sure that he can deal with the pain. I'm sure there might be a little injection in his shoulder just to numb that pain. Well, this is what Castleford do. They get you on the front foot, all of a sudden they're playing, they look to open it up. Yeah, the ball is a sloppy pass, it comes up in their hands, they turn you around, they get you on the back foot, and because you're clutching at straws, you give penalties away, and all of a sudden you're so close to your line. Cass attacking their home end now.
Indeed, and it's their first penalty of the match after just over 9 minutes. McShane, the runner is Massey. Straight down the middle he goes, England and Hadley holding him up. This is McShane again, now Grant Millington. Millington then finds Roberts. Roberts to Hardaker! Zach Hardaker for Castleford. 10th try of the season. In a rich scoring vein of form is Zach Hardaker. That's 8 tries now in his last 9 matches. Tries in 4 in a row. He failed to score against Wakefield in the 25-24 victory a few weeks ago over there at Bellevue, but he's put that to rights tonight. And Castleford, on the back of their first penalty of the match, take the lead, courtesy of Zach Hardaker.
Well, you know that if you concede a penalty so close to your line, you've got to make sure that you defend that next set 6. It's all about speed for Cass. You look at the work that the pivots do. When they get the ball, you've got Grant Millington goes at the line, he straightens up. Ben Roberts, he goes back into the heart of the Wakefield defence. And you've got the lethal man out the back, Zach Hardaker, the opportunist that he is. You can see that a Wakefield player in Mason Caton Brown jumps the line, he steps off his right foot and beats him here.
It's the work done early on by Millington and Roberts. The depth that those passes go back to, that makes Mason Caton Brown a little too nervous. He makes a defensive decision. Ultimately, he's not good enough to make that tackle. It's the footwork and the balance of Zach Hardaker. What a wonderful 10 minutes. What a wonderful arm wrestle we've just experienced. It's a privilege to be part of an atmosphere like this, Eddie. I think we're in for a cracking match today.
Well, there's a chance here for Luke Gale to really steady any nerves that Castleford might have. They went down early to a Wakefield penalty. They're now 4-2 up in this conversion from Luke Gale. Will make it the perfect 6, and that's exactly what it does. Tigers 6, Trinity 2.
It's very hard in rugby league nowadays to win silverware or get to the grand final and lift the trophy there without having the best fullback in the competition. And you just saw the position that he took up. Initially behind the play of the ball, skipped to the side, decided to put himself in that hole, and then with his pace and evasion, which Malcolm really spoke about before the game here, he showed that ability to get over the line and maybe take some of the pressure off the Castleford side that have had a little bit of an anxious start to this game.
Well, they have won all 7 encounters against Wakefield since 2015. Victory would wrap up the League Leaders' Shield, as we say. They'd pocket the prize money that's at stake. Plus, they would then qualify for next year's World Club Series for the very first time.
What an exceptional couple of pieces of play. Ben Roberts deals with a difficult kick-off and he's in goal, runs hard, fights hard to play his ball quickly and earns his side a penalty. Very underestimated player, Ben Roberts.
His 13th in a row at standoff for Ben Roberts. 5 tries in 3 matches over Easter, including 1 against Wakefield here, in a pretty hard-fought Good Friday win for the Tigers against their neighbours. Here is Nathan Massey, though, now. Can't go anywhere without the legs, and Arona saw to that. This is McShane. Roberts drops the pass off again. Big collision. Mark McMeekin loses the ball. It was knocked forward, I think, was it? Or was it just a simple loss? It was a simple loss. Bill Tupu picks it up. And here now is Jacob Miller. He's getting hounded by Minikin.
Good contact, wasn't it, from Anthony England here on Mike McMeekin. And then Jacob Miller, we saw him come up with that shot last week again when they played Leeds Rhinos, and he got a try from it. So the little man's been targeted, but again, he's come up with all the answers.
Fafita will cart the ball forward once again, the Tongan international from 2015, and his legs just keep on going till the referee shouts hell. Then he gets a quick play the ball away to Hadley, and Hadley will take it on. And down he goes. Danny Kermond is behind the play the ball on tackle number 5. Liam Finn then, high and towards the left-hand side. Minikin has lost it again.
Well, Tupu was chasing that. That ball could have stayed in the field of play. That would have been a try for Wakefield. Again, good kick to the corner. The Wakefield left edge were pushing up really hard.
He's got his positioning all wrong, didn't he, Greg Minikin?
He came forward, the ball beat him, it goes over his shoulder. He's got the pressure of Bill Tupu in front of him as well. He's got to contend with the number 3 in the Wakefield jersey.
You just saw Zach Hardacre, just patted him on the back. Greg Minikin, that's a couple of mistakes he's made. Patted him on the back, said, listen, calm down now. Come on, settle down.
That fair enough, Stuart, because he didn't seem to have the ball, Minikin.
No, I think he'd lost the ball and it was already going backwards when there was some contact there. But I think he might have been on the ground as well. I think it's a fair call.
Referee just holding a play because Nathan Massey needs some taping up, as you can see. So this will be a Wakefield head and feed. 10 metres out from the Castleford line.
Heads in, Zach. Stay, Luke. Yeah, ball, mate.
Such has been Castleford's domination this year. They've lost just 4 of 25 so far. Arona gets it to Liam Finn. Here now is Kermond. Kermond comes inside Millington. He can't get away from Seni Lefeo. Hadley 5 metres out. Fafita on the charge. Big man to stop. That's why there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 men around him. They hold him up just a couple of centimetres away from the line. Hadley fires the pass then to Finn. Here is Miller wide, and it's to Tupu. Tupu then keeps the movement going. It's Jowett. Hadley again. Flicks the pass. England taking them on. That could have been a penalty as well. This is Liam Finn. Great tackle. Great tackle that was by Seni Lefeo. Wide. Wide again. Ben Jones-Bishop. Ben Jones-Bishop for Wakefield. They're not here to lie down. That is for sure. Ben Jones-Bishop. 31 tries now, and this is his 46th appearance for Wakefield after the effort against Leeds last week. 19 tries in Super League this year for Ben Jones-Bishop.
Well, one of the things that Malcolm really spoke about was field position, and through that mistake from Greg Minikin, the Trinity side gained that field position, camped out on the line, and this is good stuff. There's been some good play from Wakefield. They're throwing the ball around. They need to do that. They need to test and challenge Castleford. Good decision from Hanley, good ball. And Reece Lynn just provides the easiest, simplest pass to Ben Jones-Bishop.
So Ben Jones-Bishop try levels the scores, and the kick is to come from the right-hand side by Liam Finn. There's the try scorer. Brilliant try in the defeat, 24-42 here on Good Friday as well. Liam Finn needs 4 points for 400 at Wakefield, so this is an important kick for him. He's already got 2 tonight. For him personally, but more importantly, I suppose, in the context of the game, this would give Wakefield a 2-point advantage. So the drawing over the post, it just goes the wrong side of the upright, so it stays at 6-all.
There's the high kick. What impact would this have?
Well, I suppose the referee's got to decide whether he's actually playing at the ball or whether he's trying to make the tackle. If he decides he doesn't play at the ball, then it's still Wakefield's head and feed.
Either way, you know, you've got to be a decent side to end up in the top 4, which is what Wakefield are aiming for, and they've proved here in these opening 16 minutes. Dean Hadley, you pointed out, Eddie, he made 2 fantastic passes in that set. One shot it wide to the left, then brought it back to the right-hand side. In a position that he's not familiar with playing. Usually the hooker throws about 100 passes a game. He's not often doing that, and yet he's done it well so far.
I know Wakefield are looking forward to the challenge they face tonight. Mason Caton-Brown is underneath the kickoff. They really did get back on the horse last week. What a turnaround. Beaten the previous week at Huddersfield, 36-6 they lost. They turned on the style against Leeds, their finest display of the year, in their most important game. This now is their most important game. They have the top 4 in their sights.
They were playing off the back of a good go forward. All the forwards getting over the advantage line again like this. Set of 6, Danny Kermon now just over the halfway line, plays the ball quickly. You see that Castleford's line aren't set, and that's what this man wants. He wants a retreating defensive line. He's going to pick out those players who aren't quite set.
Miller with a high kick to the corner, and the tester here for Minikin. Oh, it's been pinched from him by Tupu. He flings the ball forward. Well, Greg Minikin is having a little bit of a nightmare under these high balls at the moment.
Well, the forwards are getting those quick play the balls. They're kicking on the front foot. Then all of a sudden, everyone's onside. Everyone on that left side can get up in the eye line of that youngster, Greg Minikin.
I'm sure what Darryl Powell will be saying is, look, let's get a bit better control of ruck speed. Let's make sure we don't allow the kickers time and space to find easy, high, spiralling kicks that are too difficult to deal with.
And let's not forget that Greg Minikin has played the last 4 in the centres, while Greg Eden has been out of the side, and tonight he's back on the wing.
It's difficult sometimes when you change your positions. Here's an out-and-out winger and try-scorer in Greg Eden. I like the balance of Castleford with Minikin in the on the right wing, sorry.
Eden plays the ball to Shenton. There's Gale. Holmes taking on Kermond. McShane finds Millington. He then finds Roberts. This is McMeekan. Gets the ball away brilliantly to Webster. That's touched. That's touched. I'm sure that was touched. Well, Castleford have got the ball back anyway. It doesn't matter. McShane's nicked it. It's going to be 6 to go, this.
Well, Paul McShane, he plays with plenty of energy, doesn't he?
Plenty of aggression as well.
Yes, he didn't stand down.
When we walk back down, he's a big man, as we've talked about a few times. Fafita, the artful dodger. Well, he nicked that ball.
And he gets the pass away. Oh, has he got this ball down? Is it McMeekan? Has McMeekan got this ball down? It's a question that James Child will ask the video referee, Phil Benton. They have no try on the field, and James Child was the closest to it. All he needs to do is check the grounding, Stuart.
Yes, that's what they're looking for. It's certainly a big reach out to try and get the ball over the line.
Reach out and I'll be there. Come on, Stuart, let's see.
Does Does he get the well?
Oh, it's a try, that, Stuart.
Well, we'll probably need to look at the shot from the other side, but it certainly looks like he's got part of his hand. Only needs to have a finger on that ball as it's going down. There's no separation on the way down. Just needs to keep some part of that hand on the ball, and I think from that you can see that he has. I think this will be the on-field decision will be overturned.
He's not short. This will tell us.
No, this is a try, Eddie.
No,
That's
it's
a
on the line.
glorious try. What a grip he's got on that ball. That allows him to bring it away from his body, reach out as far as he can, keep control till the very last split second, and that's a try for me.
He's come of age this year, Mike McMeekin. He's a big athletic back rower and hits a very good line, knows how to score a try as well.
I can see why there is some indecision, but here comes the decision. We're all waiting, as is that man, as is this man, and the try is given. Mike McMeekin, last try at Wakefield in July, latest try against Wakefield in August. The league leaders are 10-6 ahead, courtesy of Mike McMeekin. On his 70th Castleford appearance, he's just got his 9th try of 2017.
I think he's the modern-day Gareth Ellis. He's 23 years of age. You know, he made his debut in the Super League 5 years ago when he was playing for the London side. And it's been a remarkable journey. This year he's played in 24 to 25 games for the Castleford Tigers. And arguably, I think we've probably underestimated his importance, the value he's added to this team.
Luke Gale adds the extras, and Castleford make it 12-6 as we approach 19 and a half minutes.
Well, he's got a high work rate, hasn't he? Said he's big and powerful. He knows the way to the try line.
No right to score that, has
he hasn't. He'll pick out defenders. Look, he'll look up, see, set his line. All he's got to do is run onto a ball that he knows he's going to be perfect from his hooker. So he's just got to focus on what's in front of him. He does that. He sees the try line. He backs himself, and he scores the first try for himself this evening as the Cas fans go wild.
Yes, delight on the terraces, and Phil mentioned the fact that he made his Super League debut with the London Broncos, Mike McMeekin. What a turnaround for him. He was relegated with London in 2014. 3 years later, here he is on the verge of lifting the league leaders' shield. OK, let's get down to the sideline. Bill.
Eddie, the Castleford Tigers' effort tonight is about to get a big boost. I mean big, because Junior Moores is about to come on. He's been out for 8 games. He's had a knee ligament injury. In actual fact, looking in on the sidelines, he's got an enormous strapping on his right knee, but he's fit and back for the business end of the season, which is a fantastic boost for the Castleford Tigers.
Yes, it is, absolutely. There he is, prowling, is Junior Moores.
Well, Junior Moore's entry to the field has coincided with what's the best 20-minute period that Castleford have. Generally from the 20th minute to the 40th, they've scored 44 tries and conceded just 14. And so much as that has coincided with his entry.
Brent Millington, big hit on Ben Jones-Bishop. Here comes that man, Bill Tupou, again. Fafita out the back door, finds Hadley. Hadley then to Mason Caton-Brown. Little skip in front of Ben Roberts. Webster low down. Hadley once more, it's a knock on by Mason Caton-Brown.
Well, that started for me with the first tackle from Grant Millington. He got his shoulder into the ribs of Ben Jones-Bishop, picked him up and drove him back 2 or 3 metres. And from that point on, it injected some enthusiasm, some energy into the rest of the team. And Mason Caton-Brown, in trying to play that ball quicker, he loses grasp and control.
Well, there it is. That's what all the fuss is about tonight. The Betfred Super League League Leaders Shield 2017 is Darryl Powell, Ryan Sheridan and co taking that home with them tonight. 22 minutes of the game gone.
Well, they'll be hoping so, won't they? That's why all the fans have turned out in the numbers to support the side.
Well, they've not been top of the table in their entire history, 91 years. They've been close a couple of times, but never as close as this.
They've been absolutely incredible. They deserve to be sat at the top of the table. The way that they've played, they've been like a breath of fresh air.
And they already have got themselves, there is Moores is on, And he has got one hell of a bandage on his right leg, that is for sure. Bill was spot on. But they are already assured of a home semi-final in the race to Old Trafford. It will get on the end of the Super 8s. Semi-finals will be played back end of September. And I understand that Castleford have elected to play their match in that home semi-final on a Thursday.
Play on.
Eden with a little dab ahead. Jowett to the rescue.
No, they don't score from that try, but you can see Luke Gale what he's doing. He's looking at fixing some defenders, whether he's hitting a short ball or a long pass. Everyone's aware of the situation, what's in front of them.
Castleford would fancy their chances, wouldn't they, in the semi-finals at home here?
They fancy the chances against anybody. They're the team that back themselves, the best defence in the competition, the best attack in the competition. They've got that winning mentality, they've got a strut. When they make mistakes and they give penalties away like they have done on this occasion, they know that they've got the players who'll do all the hard stuff as well as the fancy stuff. They'll defend that try line.
Well, it's a big night here at the Jungle tonight. It is an emotional night tomorrow for the Leeds Rhinos and their supporters, because the South Stand is hosting its final match before it's demolished and make way for a brand new facility. The last time that the South Stand will be open for business. Leeds Saints tomorrow night, Sky Sports Arena at 7:30.
And that'll be another cracking atmosphere as well. I know they're close to capacity in that one as well. So 2 cracking games and 2 cracking atmospheres.
I think it was built around about 86 years ago, that South Stand. Had a 13,000 capacity early doors. Oh, here is a chance for Matty Ashurst for Wakefield. Back it comes to Jacob Miller. Arona. Of course, we'll talk about how big this match is for Castleford, how big it is for Leeds tomorrow. It's very big for Wakefield and St Helens in the race for the top 4. The ball's patted backwards. Here is a chance for Rhys Lynn. Oh, I think that's great defence.
I think it's a double movement again. There was a good effort on the right side from Ben Roberts. They come to the left side, and Rhys Lynn just, his arms aren't long enough. The tackle from Michael Shenton.
I was just checking, it was Shenton, wasn't it? That's a great try saver.
Well, his feet were in touch as well, and that's what I mean, Eddie, when all of a sudden you think that the opposition's going to go in for the try, what they do, and their attitude and desire to prevent the opposition from getting over the try line.
On second watch of that, I think Rhys Lynn thought he was going to score that try. Shenton came from nowhere. There we go. He looks to me like he's getting ready to score. He's getting ready to plonk the ball down. Castle moving the ball, shifting it from left to right, gaining the metres and piling the pressure on Trinity.
Here is Nick Beacon now, 20 metres away from the Wakefield line. Comes in field to Millington, shows it to Junior Moores. Gale delays the pass, brilliant pick up off the ground by Eden. Gets it away to McShane. McShane will take the tackle from Finn and Lynn and Kermond.
David Holt.
And then you just have a little look over his shoulder, see what's happening behind him. Tigers all in the line. Junior Moores, when he got his first touch a few moments ago, the crowd gave him a tremendous welcome back.
Go.
McShane, here's Gale. Up in the air it goes again, looking for Greg Eden. But it's Ben Jones-Bishop who's underneath it.
Had to be good then, didn't he, Ben Jones-Bishop? Again, the bit of time that Luke Gale has on getting that ball away. You need some kick pressure on him. You don't want him to drop it right on the money into the corner. He'll pressure those wingers for Wakefield in Tupu and Jones-Bishop.
And do you know what? Castleford need to mix the game up a little. They need to have a patient approach to a way that they get to the back end of the set. What they can't do is hand possession over a territory like they did on that occasion through McMeekin. But some of those ordinary plays, some of those kicks that just seem to be percentage plays, there's not too much wrong with them. You can't score a try on everything.
I think we're talking about Castleford a little bit too much, Eddie. I think we need to give Wakefield a bit more credit. It's been billed as the big night for the Tigers, but this Trinity side here now, 26 minutes into the game, they're equally competitive here, and they're going to work themselves into a position. They've got no lack of confidence here in taking on the top of the table.
And Craig Hubie, back on a ground that he knows only so well. Here's Danny Kermond.
Here, penalty.
There's a penalty. There's something off the ball then. Someone was clobbered off the ball.
Sam Williams it was. He's just come onto the field. Is it for Dean Hadley? He was hit when he went at the line. He passed the ball. There was some pressure from the inside defender from Wakefield. You see Jesse sending Lefeo, he passes that ball out to Liam Finn, he's hit after that.
Jesse, come here.
See, he's relaxed,
Clearly,
not
you've got to have
expecting
better
a tackle.
discipline than that. Okay, you've got to have better discipline.
Yeah, it's just a late tackle, isn't it? Just a
On the
penalty.
line, guys!
Nothing further.
On that line, Paul!
Well, that's a passionate player that I've seen for 27 minutes. Players in Castleford shirts, and Jesse Senna-Lefeo is one of them, trying really, really hard to rise to the occasion. And sometimes it's just about focusing on your job, getting on with your role and responsibility within the team.
QB out the back door finds Anakin. Anakin halted by Andy Lynch. The coaches on a warm night, rotating the squads here. Miller lost the ball. Did he get a hand to it there? Was there a hand in there by the Castleford man? Looked like it. Referee says no. Ben Roberts is allowed to carry on and play the ball.
Well, Jay Webster did well to recover from that, the number 3 for Cass. He got up quick and all of a sudden he thought, no, I'm leaving my inside defender a bit exposed. I've got to hold back. Ben Roberts, yeah, I think I'm with you, Eddie. He might have made a play for that. And again, the speed of the ruck, the speed of the play, the ball, you can't control Castleford. You give that penalty away because you're just trying too hard. And look, Ninikin works hard.
A shot by David Fafita is penalised.
Yeah, they can't get set. Kemble. Just have a little look at this kick here from Luke Gale. From defending 20 metres from Cass's line, all of a sudden you're 25 metres from your own line.
Cheap one, mate. Okay.
This is Webster. He starts. Meakin.
Help! Reese! Go on.
McShane. Now Luke Gale. Ball to ground.
0.
Wakefield have it back from the 0 tackle.
0.
Well, good defence from Wakefield. They didn't switch off. They made sure that they got up.
Williams it was who played the ball to Liam Finn. Here is Reese Lynn. The 3 there. Lynn doing his best to keep his feet.
Hold.
Looking for Andy Lynch. Fafita. Big scream forward from the terraces underneath us.
It's working well with Williams, telling him exactly what he wants.
Here's Kermon now. Kermon went in front of Williams. No danger of an obstruction. Williams in a dummy half, 20 metres out. Liam Finn delays the pass, gets it away to Anakin.
Nice line from Liam Finn when he passes that ball to Anakin.
Encouraging signs for Wakefield here. Williams examining this Castleford defence again on tackle number 5. He goes down. Last one then. Finn. Miller spreads it wide. Ashurst. Jowett into the corner. Bit too strong.
Well, you can see in all the disappointment. Chris Chester and John Keir. You know, Scott Griggs, who doesn't take part in this game, would normally take responsibility for those plays, whether it's a pass, a run, the kick, and the experience that Griggs has got. He might have been better at dealing with that. There's Griggs taking a big role in Max Jowett's development.
And just being given a bit of a breather tonight. Scott Griggs, he was excellent last week. Here he was. Here's Milner now, who's been excellent all year. Moores. McShane. Moores asking the question about a possible flop. Roberts. Hardacre. Hardacre delayed the pass. He's got Webster. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Hardacre at the heart of it. Webster finishes it off. You cannot take your eyes off Castleford Tigers for one moment. It looked like the chance had gone. But they never know when they're beaten. And Jake Webster, 9 tries now in Super League. No wonder he's been tied up to a brand new deal and will be back in 2018. The former New Zealand international.
Eddie, you can trace that back to the ruck speed that Cass gained going forward. Wakefield couldn't get set. You can see that some players are moving up, some players are hanging back. They're not set, the communication has gone. They're all over the place. You can see, look, Fafita defending on his heels. He bites in, all of a sudden it puts pressure on the outside. Zach Hardacre goes through the line, beats Caton Brown, and he's got the confidence to pass that ball inside to his teammate Jake Webster. Well, they're on fire this evening, and they've been on fire all year.
What about the offload from Zach Hardacre? He just simply floats it into the space. he expects Webster to be. It's a sublime offload. All starts with Paul McShane. Nice short passes, delicate, well-timed passes, well-weighted passes, and this is the money ball here. While he's stumbling, fumbling around, just flops it into the space. In the words of Mick Morgan, I can't speak, Eddie.
And you can almost trace it back a little bit farther to the kick from Max Jowett, and the disappointment from Chester and John Keir in the stand. Kicking now at the end of a set is disproportionately important in a game of rugby league. It's almost determined a 12-point swing there from what could have been a goal line dropout to a try for Wakefield. The kick went too far, and all of a sudden the home fans are celebrating and the scoreboard's changed.
3 goals and the 25th drop goal of his career against Salford last week for Luke Gale. There's another 2 points going alongside his name. That's his 3rd successful kick tonight. It's 18-6.
And that's a good point by Phil. If you don't finish your sets off well, you don't come up with the right kick, this is where you'll be defending, and this is what you've got to contend with. Can you contend with a team that's going forward while you're rocking back on your heels? A team that throws the ball around, who know that if they go into contact, they can turn around, give it to one of the teammates, and someone will be there.
So off we go again with 7.5 minutes to the half-time siren. McMeekan never shirks the responsibility of taking the ball forward. 18-6, ding-dong battle it was here on Good Friday when they last met on this ground. It finished in the end 42-24 in the end, but only managed 1 second-half try from Greg Eden. They did enjoy a purple patch in the first half. And they had the match wrapped up really by the interval. It's not wrapped up here yet, and Wakefield are providing stern opposition.
No, they're still going to have to work hard because Wakefield have got their own game breakers. We saw it last week.
40-20 attempt here from Luke Gale. 40-20 from Gale. How about that? How about that?
Brilliant from Luke Gale. He's been relatively quiet during this game. He's had small involvement, being patient, ready to impose himself. And that's just a pinpoint, perfect kick.
It wasn't a 40-20, it was a 40-10. It was that deep.
When you're on, aren't you? You just sit back and you wait for those opportunities to present themselves.
Here goes Andy Lynch. Anakin stands his ground. Milner is pumped up and waiting for it to come this way. It goes the other way instead to Roberts. That's Hardacre touched. 6 to go. McShane swoops on the loose ball. They go wide. Minikin. That's the 0 tackle. 6 more from here. Could be a penalty. Jowett hanging on. No, referee keeps his whistle in his pocket. Webster. Important tackle by Anakin. Here is Andy Lynch. Andy Lynch trying to shrug them off. What would he give for a try here tonight on this big night for the club? McShane. Gale. Soft hands again. Holmes out the back door. Oh! How about that? That wasn't knocked on either. It's carried on by Hardacre. Finds Eden. Eden's backed himself. That's good play. That's good defence.
Well, on the second play, would it be good play from Darryl Powell at half-time? Yeah, they're enjoying themselves, but do you kick or do you keep chancing your arm? Build a bit of pressure on Wakefield, because Wakefield are still in this game, as we see a big shot from Adam Milner.
Adam Milner and Julian Moores for good measure.
Well, Adam Milner knows what's needed, and I think Luke Gale did as well. He turned round and absolutely blasted Greg Eden when he made that tackle after the kick. Here's the big shot. Shoulder in. You're not having a metre.
Grieslin.
Tigers a little bit worried at the moment, though. Paul McShane, the hooker, just limping at the moment. There's only one player in Super League spent longer on the field this season than McShane. They'll be hoping he recovers. He's there back in the tackle at number 9.
Hubie plays the ball. The referee agrees with the big cry from the sidelines. It was forward.
Again, when they were in this game early on, they were finishing the sets off well. A couple of mistakes now that they've made. Again, you look where they're making those mistakes. It's going to be very difficult to control this juggernaut. A team that's willing to go into contact, willing to offload the ball.
He never looks 100% happy, does he, Darryl Powell, till the final siren goes and he's got the 2 points in the bag.
He never has done it.
Ever, or just when he's coaching.
Yeah, just when he's coaching.
He'll be happy if his team gets the result
he will.
tonight.
He will. He'll be bursting with pride. He will.
He'll allow himself to smile, enjoy it, and I'm sure when it comes, if it comes, he'll be as pleased as any of these people on the terraces.
Chain to Gale. Gives the ball then to Holmes, who stands before going down eventually. Keegan Hurst low down. Sam Williams over the top. Chain again. Here's Junior Moore's short ball. They've lost it though, Milner. This will be a 0, so they might as well chance their arm here, Wakefield. And they do with Ben Jones-Bishop.
Chance their arm now, Eddie, on that play. You see the forwards, just a nice little twos play at the line. But what they can't do now, they've got to make sure that they respect the possession, kick it into the corner, challenge the wingers. They did that in the opening 10 minutes. They got a bit of joy.
Good run from Tupu, solid.
He's been solid all year, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Career best 12 tries from him this year as well, so he's weighed in a bit. Matty Ashurst dumped to the ground. Williams moves in at dummy half. Tells Caton Brown to go to the wing. Ball comes in to centre field to Liam Finn. And Jarrett couldn't get away from Michael Shenton.
Good read from Michael Shenton to come in and cut that play down.
Reece Lynn will have a little run. Oliver Holmes has missed him. Shenton's there again. He's lost the ball. There were two in the tackle. There was a hand in there. Michael Shenton had his hand all round the ball, and he left the referee with no other alternative.
It's a massive moment here now in the match for the Wakefield side. Just over 2 minutes at half-time. It was play 4, so they've already had 4 runs at the Tigers. They're going to get 6 more here, and they're desperate for 6 points.
Good ball from Finn to Miller. Good hit by Ben Roberts. The 10 metres away, though, Wakefield. Liam Finn goes left. Ashurst drives for the line. McShane and Webster see to it he doesn't get there. Mason Caton Brown will have a dash himself and get the try here. Mason Caton Brown has pinched one from dummy half. Yes, he has. Well, he was dropped last week from the side against Leeds. He had played in the previous 17. And that's his 20th try in all competitions, 16th in the Super League. A little bit more angst for Darryl Powell, but a great try from Mason Caton Brown.
Oh, what a game we've got here, Eddie. Shenton gives the penalty away, and there's nothing exaggerated about this move. There's nothing complicated about it. He puts his head down, he gets low, and he gets his side back in the game. 38.5 minutes on the clock.
Well, Greg Minikin, he's looking up and seeing what he's marking, and that's his winger. There's a bit of space on the outside shoulder for Ben Roberts, who was tight to the ruck. All of a sudden, he spots that space, the speed that he's got. He got low, powered his legs over the line. And well, they're back in this game, aren't they?
As a defender, you need to be a little bit lower than that guy, tunneling his way to the line, and there might have been a defensive mistake there from Castleford, a momentary lack of concentration. Probably Ben Roberts will be hard on himself when he looks at it, but Trinity are back in the game.
And so is this the moment for Liam Finn and his 400th point for Wakefield? Oh no, it isn't. And he throws the tee away. Quite disgusted with himself as well.
Amazing, isn't it? He was 7 from 7 last week, wasn't he, against the Leeds Rhinos? 7 from 7 kicks. It looks like he's never kicked before.
As far as Mason Brown's concerned, a try for Salford in a 22 points to 18 victory against Castleford last year. He will be hoping that lightning will strike twice Mason Caton Brown. But Liam Finn knows he's missed with a couple.
He looks frustrated with himself,
yes,
doesn't he?
He does, and he certainly was with that last one. The kick was way, way wide.
Eddie, he could be key in this game. Him and Jacob Miller, they're the two players that everyone else around them will be looking for. Lead them round, direct them round the field.
Move! Go.
It's a good end to the half by Wakefield. Sam Williams again.
Move! Hold.
10 seconds of this first half remaining. Keegan Hurst trying to battle his way to halfway. They'll get one more, play the ball if he gets to his feet quickly enough, which he does. Finn dabs it over the top. The chase is on here. Oh, it's a horrible bounce, but then it's hacked forward by Max Jowett. And Hardaker is there, and he gives the ball a bit of a hump into the crowd, which is populated by Wakefield Trinity supporters. Well, they're not lying down, Wakefield. That is for sure. Darryl Powell knows that. The Tigers fans are here to celebrate. Chris Chester's men have done a fine job. They've held on to their shirt tails. They trailed 6-2 after Liam Finn's penalty goal gave them a 2-point advantage. Then it was 6-all on a quarter of an hour. Ben Jones-Bishop's try. McMeekin and Webster then, though, with tries in the 19th and 31st minute, both improved by Gale. Caton Brown's try. Only the one penalty from Finn. He's missed 2. Could have been much closer. As it is, it's close enough. Castleford 18, Wakefield 10. The league leaders' shield is not settled yet.
We said the neighbours may spoil the party. Welcome back to the Mendahoes jungle. Round 3 of the Betfred Super League Super 8s sees the Castleford Tigers 8 points clear of Wakefield Trinity. There has been very little in that first 40 minutes. Castleford Tigers, remember, avoiding defeat will lift the league leader shield here in front of a packed out jungle. And Wakefield Trinity are pushing them all the way. Darryl Powell had said during the week that we will learn a lot about ourselves during this game. We want to play well and enjoy the atmosphere and pressure of it all. At times in that first 40 minutes, it looked like the atmosphere and pressure may slightly be getting to the favourites in tonight's game. Chris Chester, he made it clear that they've quite a lot to play for in terms of the top 4. Remember, if Wakefield win, Saints lose and Wigan win, there will be 3 points on Sunday between Wakefield in 4th and St Helens in 5th. So a massively important game for Chris Chester and Wakefield Trinity, and they certainly came here to play. First on the scoreboard through a Liam Finn penalty, wanted to establish themselves obviously on the board, but then the inevitable, the almost inevitable, Castleford Tigers struck first try.
They did strike first, but I thought Wakefield were good value for that early start.
Absolutely.
Early 10 minutes, they took advantage of a clearly nervous Castleford. It's worth showing you this from the tap, though. This is Hardacre's try. Ultimately, it's a little bit of footwork that Zach gets over the top of Mason Caton Brown, who shoots the line. But this is all about setting up areas of the field. So the first play, getting towards the left stick, they're assessed then where they're going to put themselves at the start of this play. So generally speaking, you would find any team in this sort of area, they'd aim for one of the 2 sticks, splits the team, splits the field up, and therefore splits up the amount of defenders that would go on one side or another. Now, depending on the speed of the play of the ball, you can sometimes force errors there in numbering up. Actually, Wakefield get it right. They have 6 on that long side. It's absolutely fine. And ultimately, it's just a little bit of footwork on the catch there from Zach that does Mason Caton Brown. It probably works a little too hard, harder than he needs to.
Wakefield hit back. Malcolm really watching this in the studio, he was with us pre-game, he said they're playing very similar styles, I guess complementary of Wakefield's willingness to throw the ball around, evidenced by this try.
Yeah, expansive stuff, really expansive stuff, and this is where a lot of teams have struggled with Wakefield, and it's the unstructured stuff, the second phase stuff. We've seen Leeds do it an awful lot, and they're the past masters at it. Wakefield are getting better, their hands are secure, these are not risky balls, risky offloads, and every single pass and every single movement is forcing an adjustment in this Castleford line, and in the end it's just a lovely piece of hands there as Liam Finn gets pulled down. Lovely bit of hands from Reece Lynn. The ball from Dean Hadley was good, hasn't he been good from Hooker in the absence of Kyle Wood. But at that point, all square, and you're wondering at that point what the reaction was going to be.
Yeah, Finn missed that conversion, tied up at 6 points apiece. I come to you at full time asking you for a game breaker. In reality, the game is full of pivotal moments that come 10 o'clock may prove to have been the turning points. You've looked at that first 40 minutes and you've got a couple for us.
Yeah, at 6 apiece, Cass are on the attack from midfield. And I think they've been guilty perhaps of overplaying at times. And this is probably an example of that. So Webster throws the ball back inside, Speculator. It actually goes into Fafita's hands. So this from McShane on the biggest, strongest man in the opposition team is massive because it rescues that attacking set and allows Cass to go again at this line. And when they get that opportunity, they take it. Inside to Massey, who's been excellent at setting up plays, finds his feet, very rarely gets turned on his back. And then have a look at this. Got one man, one line to go at, and it's one of those uncompromising lines. And just extends the arm, and he's got enough ball control at the end of that after riding the tackle to get the no-try decision overturned.
He's gone through some pretty decent defenders in that one as well, John.
Yeah, and then, so 12-6, they get to that point. This is a try-saver. So this on the 25th minute, so they've gone 6 points up. This from Shenton's massive, because this for all money looks like a try. Just a scrambling effort, and it's moments like that that make matches, and moments like that that make seasons.
And sometimes can get lost in the general landscape of the game. OK, 12-6 to the Castleford Tigers. It pushed out to 18-6. That was Mike McMegan's 9th try of the season. Jake Webster still playing on the right-hand side as well. He got his 9th try of the season. Yeah,
Cas fans in the background had to wait until the 31st minute for something to shout about, to see Cas at their irrepressible best. But boy, wasn't it good when it came. It was spoken about in commentary, and Barry made the point. This set-up play, Junior Morse finds his front, pushes through players. The significance of that, have a look at where Chris Anakin, your first defender, and Fafita, your second, look at where they actually make contacts with Milner, and it's basically at their start point. The ball here from Ben Roberts ensures the 3-on-2, and that from Zach Hardacre is magnificent. Makes the right decision more often than not, and there's not a player in the team who you want the ball to go to other than Jake Webster. You think so far so good from Castleford fans' perspective, but then, you
done and dusted. 18-6. It's a Castleford Tigers win. Surely no. 2 minutes before half-time, Mason Caton-Brown goes over. Unconverted try. 18-10. Wakefield Trinity very much in this game. Remembering the Castleford Tigers need only a draw to lift the League Leader Shield and become only the 7th side to do that. I know one man that would be very happy if that were to happen here at the Mendahose Jungle. We've got the second half coming up. Remember, the Castleford Tigers looking for their 7th consecutive victory over Wakefield. But Trinity, well, they're going to have plenty to say in the second 40.
Three more games coming up for you live only on Sky Sports from the Betfred Super League this weekend. Tomorrow we are at Leeds against St Helens, the last match in front of the iconic South Stand at Headingley, 7:30 Sky Sports Arena. On Saturday from the qualifiers, it's Warrington-Halifax at 3:10, Sky Sports Arena again and main event. And the Catalan Dragons will take on Lee, also in the qualifiers, on Saturday tea time, 5:15, Sky Sports Arena again. Here at a packed Mendahose Jungle, the Castleford Tigers are 40 minutes away from mission accomplished. 18-10 they lead, and Darryl Powell, well, he is the hero in these parts. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. It's a great round of applause when he comes from the dressing room over to this side of the ground to watch the match from high up here on the gantry. And they are delighted with what they've seen this season, and 40 minutes away, as I say, from a season's work being partly fulfilled, because after the League Leaders Shield, if they win it tonight, or if they win it and when they win it later on this year, that's only half the job done. They have to get to Old Trafford then.
Well, that's when it'll be difficult. There's some people I've been talking to in the build-up to this game, Eddie, that think that they won't get to Old Trafford, which I disagree. I think that the way Cas have played and the form and the mental state of them, I think they'll back themselves to get there. And you look at their attack in the first half, all their attacks seem to come down the right-hand side. Maybe they might change that up as Andy Lynch takes the ball left-hand side of the field.
Darryl Powell's had teams at the top of a table before, 3 years in a row between 2010 and 2012. His Featherstone Rovers topped the championship table. But with all due respect, this is the big one. Luke Gale with a high kick to end this opening set from Castleford. Ben Jones-Bishop is underneath it. It's a good chase led by Michael Shenton. And the great thing about Castleford, you know, they're on course to top the table by the greatest margin in 22 seasons of Super League football. Leeds were topped by 9 points 2004. The next best, St Helens, in 2006, 8 points. If they win here tonight, they will be 12 clear with 4 games to go, an unassailable lead at the top.
It's incredible, isn't it? I'm still giving Wakefield a chance, though. You look at them in the first half, they completed at 86%. They got 7 penalties to 3. If they can still keep doing that, still keep churning up those meters, still the likes of Liam Finn, Jacob Miller, keep pulling those strings, they've definitely got a chance.
That's clever play from Miller. A kick out wide looking for Ben Jones-Bishop, but just slightly too strong.
It was good invention. Obviously, you need to try things that are different. The winger had already dropped back. He attempted to put it into the path of Ben Jones-Bishop, inviting him onto it and see if he could chance the round and try some luck.
OK, early moments of this second half. What was the half-time talk all about? Bill Arthur.
Eddie, the Castleford Tigers coach Daryl Powell's view is that first 40 minutes was good in patches, but his team a bit erratic, and one or two errors that were unnecessary, forced errors that conceded possession, let Wakefield off the hook. Maybe the occasion getting to them, just trying too hard to please this big crowd here tonight, trying to score on every play. They don't need to do that, just keep the pressure on Wakefield and the chances will come. So the message from Daryl Powell to his team is to be patient and try and cut out the errors, and patience really for Chris Chester is the watchword as well, because they're very much in this game. They feel confident that they can push Castleford Tigers all the way. As you've already mentioned, they had a good completion rate in that first 40 minutes, not too many errors, feel a bit hard done by in terms of one or two penalty issues, so they really are positive going into this second half, and they need to maximise their opportunities as well.
Thanks, Bill. Interesting comment from the Wakefield dressing room. They're a little bit concerned about penalty issues. They lead the penalty count 7-3. Interesting. Maybe they feel they should have had more. High kick this. Jowett has dealt with everything, hasn't he, tonight?
That's a wonderful take from the young fullback, and just try and put yourself in the mindset of both coaches. Chris Chester knows that with a bounce of a ball or a decision that went his side's way, that scoreline would be a little bit closer and possibly his side would be in front. But I completely agree with Daryl Powell's assessment of his team. They look like a side that are focused on the outcome of this game, not looking at the process that they've been exceptional at so far in 2017. I'm sure when they settle down, they get back into the grind of this game, I'm sure they'll play a little bit better and be more familiar in terms of what they're delivering to these fans.
Wakefield trying to make sure they don't settle down and get back into this game, even though they lead it. Here is Mason Caton Brown. It was a good tackle needed, and Ben Roberts came up with it. Liam Finn, a diagonal kick, and Hardaker took that ball within the field of play and gets the ball the right side of the whitewash, out of the in-goal area.
Well, he does well to spin out of that tackle, doesn't he, Zach Hardaker? Wakefield again, 4 men in the tackle. They're trapped in the corner. Will they look to open this play up as Minikin comes in for a carry, trying to beat those committed Wakefield defenders.
Castleford founder members of the Super League. Wakefield have been in since 1999. Castleford have been relegated twice, 2004 and famously, courtesy of Wakefield, 2006. Moores to Gale on the bounce, still finds Greg Eden, the top try scorer in the business still. 34 tries, 3 in the cup, so he's 5 away from Denny Solomona's 42 in a season record that he established last year. And that's the goal for Greg Eden this year.
That was a good defence. That was a good defensive set for Wakefield, but again, the intelligent kick, you find the space, you find the ground, all of a sudden you turn in the big forwards round. You can see a number of them just slow with their retreat. They're the big boys who've got to bring this ball forward. Exactly what Keegan Hurst is doing now.
And Williams and Anakin took control of that. He ran past the 2 would-be receivers of the ball before he received the tackle from McShane. Here is Hubie and Miller, and Caton Brown steps up on the gas, gives it then to Tupu. Minikin's after him, needs a bit of assistance. It comes in the shape of Webster and McMeekin. Caton Brown again. Dangerous.
He's got phenomenal acceleration, Eddie.
You only saw it then. Williams. This is the last tackle. Finn running it across the line. Kermond, back it goes to Anakin. Anakin stabs it towards the in-goal area. Mopped up by Greg Eden. Talk about pace. Here goes Eden, but halted by Keegan Hurst.
Well, Anakin's not the man that you want kicking the ball. He's the man that you want carting the ball up and winning that early play like you did do. All of a sudden, Wakefield can open it up. It needs to go to the likes of Jacob Miller or Liam Finn. He's a good player, Anakin, but he's definitely not a kicker.
This is Shenton. Oh, now Roberts going to make some space from dummy half. Oh, Webster went for it. Snaked out the hand, knocked the ball forward. Here is Bill Tupu, fed by Mason Caton Brown. That was the 0 tackle, so 6 more from here for Wakefield. Just trying to force it a bit, Castleford. Anxiety. Anxious to get the job done tonight, and then they can relax. wait for the semi-final to come.
That's right, Eddie. Looking to offload the ball. Darryl Powell talked about it, but these players are going to enjoy the atmosphere. They're going to enjoy the occasion.
So they will if they win, Terry. They mightn't if they lose. Wakefield will love it. This is Jowett.
That's a good tackle again. Shenton's really been on the money tonight defensively.
To use a Kevin Keeganism, Chris Chester would love it if they come here and win. And Kermond has given them a great chance. Danny Kermond gets over for Wakefield. First blood again at the start of this second half to Wakefield Trinity and Danny Kermond. Well, there are now even more anxious faces belonging to Castleford fans. Their neighbours are here to ruin what has been billed as their biggest party in 91 years. And Wakefield are within 4, and if Finn kicks this, they're within 2.
Well, you can see why Darryl Powell's saying we've just got to pull it back a bit. We've got to be the ones that dictate the pace of this game. We've made the mistake, we've got to defend the next set. And it goes to Danny Kermond, one of the most senior players, one of the most aggressive players that Wakefield have got. And I really do rate this lad. For years you've watched him, no matter what he does, no matter the injuries that he picks up, he keeps offering himself to the likes of Liam Finn, and he wears his heart on his sleeve. There's no playing in a Wakefield jersey that'll like to turn Castleford over tonight than this man.
They'll come on with a smile, and if Liam Finn can find the mark this time, they'll be back to within 2 points. Just 1 from 3 tonight. He was brilliant with the boot last week. He's kicked this one. At last he goes past the 400-point mark, and Chris Chester's men are right in the hunt.
Well, no team or club have thrived on being the underdog as much as the Wakefield Trinity side have over the last decade or so. They've really risen to the challenge here today, and it's a disappointing night so far. Eddie, you mentioned Kevin Keegan earlier. Sometimes there's a pressure about being out in front in a competition, whether it be a race or a league tournament. Remember the Newcastle United side under Kevin Keegan back in 1996, similar to the Tigers. They'd played brilliant attacking sport all season. They had fans all over the country, just like the Castleford Tigers do, but they crumbled under the pressure. Will that happen to the Tigers?
Well, half an hour or so tonight will tell us. This is Hubie. Once a hero here, of course, Craig Hubie. 312th game of his career. He's made a debut for Castleford 14 years ago. 241 appearances for the Castleford Tigers. How he would like to go home tonight with a victory. Anakin. Good hit by McShane. Great defence again from Paul McShane.
Well, there's a little pocket rocket, and Paul McShane had to be strong then, didn't he? He was helped out by Adam Milner, first of all. Oh, Hubie with the mistake.
Millington swoops on it gratefully.
Well, he's looking for that offload. Wakefield's turn to turn the ball over quite cheaply as well. Trying to offload the ball, there's numbers in. Grant Millington lends his way.
Well, another big challenge from Chris Anakin. Only a small player, under 6 foot, but he hits under the ball, digs his feet in and drives those players back.
Alex Foster felt that time. This now is Adam Milner. Here is McShane. It's Ben Roberts. Puts the brakes on and backs into the tackle of Keegan Hurst. Oh, and he's injured here is Roberts. Gets to his feet and plays it. Grimaces. Millington almost through. Important tackle by Williams.
Penalty.
Must be a penalty, and is.
Yeah, nice strong carry from Grant Millington.
Now, what would you do here? Would you go for the 6 or the 4, or would you go for the 2?
I think keep ball in hand and keep going. They're in the right area of the pitch. Although Ben Roberts is down.
But it's given them time to think, but I've not seen a sign from Darryl Powell as yet.
Keep the pressure on, Eddie.
Could be a tight night. It could be a tight night.
It could be. And all the forcing mistakes you can see when Ben Roberts goes down.
What do you call it, Phil? Half a try, isn't it, a penalty goal?
I'd go for the kick, yes.
Okay, Paul.
You'd give them a 4-point cushion. Not a winning advantage. No, they're not going to. They're going to keep the pressure on with Alex Foster. That's another penalty.
Yeah.
Well, the referee called surrender on that, so he was okay.
They got away with it, Wakefield. Castleford piling on the pressure from that penalty. Here he comes again, Millington. Offloads the ball to McShane. Roberts. McMeekan. Caton Brown on him. Flicks the pass to Minikin. Greg Minikin now. Scrambling and desperate Wakefield defence. There's McShane. Roberts in centre field. Gale. Looping pass. Brilliant. Eden! Super League's top try scorer is back. What a money ball out wide into the arms of Greg Eden from the guy who pulls the strings for this Castleford Tigers outfit, Luke Gale. Greg Eden's 35th try of the Super League season, bang on course to obliterate Denny Solomona's record.
Well, this is the detail. When you see the ball from Paul McShane under all kinds of traffic, there's Grant Millington's hurry and haste. Paul McShane, the number 9. Look at the quality of that pass. Right on the button to Ben Roberts. And this is sublime from Luke Gale, who finds the mark. 20 metres right on the button. And the space is open for Greg Eden.
How close is Ben Jones-Bishop to an interception here? Oh, it was only 6 or 12 inches. If he took that ball in, Jones-Bishop goes the length of the field, Eddie, and Trinity ahead. Those are the small margins in sport. It's a speculative pass, he throws it up and over, and the timing of the run and the arc and line of which Eden takes is perfect.
So just a little bit of breathing space. Why listen to people on the sideline saying go for 2 points? Go for broke. And that's what Darryl Powell's men did. I'm not including you in that.
Said run it. Very difficult to handle. That's what these.
You see, Phil and I are safety first. You know, we're conservative in our views.
I bet Wakefield wish Ben Jones-Bishop had been maybe safety first there, rather than looking at putting himself into that interception position, getting on the inside of Greg Eden. It was an invitation to catch and score really for him. He didn't have to beat a defender, did he?
He didn't, and it's great to see him back and scoring tries. Now then, Luke Gale. It's only a converted try at the moment. Measuring this kick. Ooh, pushes it the wrong side and is furious with himself afterwards as well. But Eden's 35th of the campaign. His season was over, we thought, less than a month ago.
Luke Gale, look at the way that he readjusts his hands, throws that pass, but well, for Ben Jones-Bishop, if you shoot the line, you've got to make sure that you come up trumps. You leave a winger like Greg Eden in space, he's always going to score a try. We've saw him all year.
Well, the party's back on the terraces, but it's only one converted try. Oh, that was out, I think. There was a foot on the other side of the whitewash. And Max Jowett curses himself.
Well, he just throws his head back. He doesn't have to catch the ball. As long as his feet are out of the field of play, he just touches that ball.
It's very smart from the two Castleford players, isn't it?
That's it, exactly what they need to do. It's a different law when the ball's kicked off from the centre than it is in general play. So they did the right thing there.
Good awareness of the rules, good awareness of what potentially was the reward for getting that right.
And so here they come, and look where they are on the first tackle. 20 metres away from Wakefield's line. Foster will take it forward again.
Cassie's tries normally come in bursts, normally come in 2s and 3s.
Here is Milner, now Millington. How about that for an all-look pass? How about that? Touched, Webster! Webster gets in! They hit them with a blitzkrieg, the Castleford Tigers. Second try of the night for Jake Webster. And Castleford now must be thinking, perhaps this is going to be the night. They do come up with special plays in quick succession. They have done it all season long. 2 tries in 3 minutes, and Webster's hit double figures.
Well, like Barry said, they do hit you with bursts. And you see the way that Cass are playing the kick-off. Well, goes back to the halfway line. It's a penalty to Castleford. They open you up on the left, they open you up on the right. Nice little turn-up play from Grant Millington. Look at the numbers that they've got over on the right-hand side. Everything seems to be at speed, nice and clinical. Apart from dipping past there, then all of a sudden, as soon as, I think it's Tupu comes out, knocks the ball forward, as soon as he knocks that ball down, the reaction of Jake Webster to pick that ball up, notice where the try line is. The transition from defence to attack, we've saw it all year, the way that they've reacted to the opposition's mistakes.
And what Cass are learning, and they're learning during this game, is the ability to play the game under pressure and ignore the consequence of getting it wrong, ignore the reward for getting it right, and just focus on your job. Do the things your coach and your team and your club has employed you to do.
Well, Jake Webster got 2 tries in the win here on Good Friday, a try in the Super 8 win here last September against Wakefield, 46-22 on that occasion. And here is Luke Gale again now to try and kick from the other side of the field. And this time he has made it. So it just gets a little bit easier for them to breathe right now.
Well, do you know what? It's a pretty impressive, skillful try, and they'll be pleased that they've got over there to extend that lead to 12 points. But this isn't over. Wakefield don't write themselves off. They always fight as whenever possible. David Fafita's back on the field, and as was pointed out before this match, he can make a difference if he carries this ball. That's what Tigers are aware of.
And they will know, Castleford, that Wakefield have scored 24 points against them in both of the meetings this year. And the last win here came in the first round of 2015. They got 24 points that night as well, 24-22, and they were 22-6 down with 12 minutes to go. So you're right, you don't write Wakefield off when they come to play at the Jungle.
No, but what's going through the minds now?
Just keep them out.
Yeah, 12 points behind. They've got to make sure that they're mentally strong in this game.
That was a quality ball from Ben Roberts then. Just give Jake Webster half a pace, half a step. He wins the play of the ball, and that's the reason Milner is over that advantage line to some tune.
Here's the last tackle this set. Goes back to Gale. I thought for a moment, I'm not going to mention it. It goes high. Jarrett has dealt with those mostly all night.
And again, he's took ownership of that catch as well. Bossed some of the bigger blokes around him. Knows exactly what he's going to do. There goes Adam Milner yet again, leading that line up. It's an aggressive line speed from the Tigers.
Eddie, to put your mind at rest, I do believe that Cass at some point will drop a goal. But while they're enjoying having possession, while they're enjoying defending, you talked about Castleford, we've talked about the main difference. Yes, they can attack. They've attacked over the last 2 or 3 years, but it's the pride in the defence and the enjoyment they have while they're defending. But yeah, I do believe a drop goal will come before the 80 is up.
Fafita's pass, well, he did well to hang on to that in the end, but it was forward. The pass from David Fafita was forward.
Well, Fafita's one of those players that he gets up, he hits an arc line, doesn't he? He likes to skip out, so that means that you're outside defenders. You've got to push up
It's not
harder.
a forward pass. There's nowhere near a forward pass.
I think the touch is called a knock-on. I'm not so sure whether it was Caton Brown that knocked it on, but the call from knock-on came from the side.
Yeah, it's a knock-on there. It's not a forward pass, I agree.
Hasn't he took to the game well, David Fafita? Wakefield Trinity have embraced him. He's enjoying what he's doing. His teammates feed off the back of some of his work. Unfortunately, Mason Caton Brown couldn't regather that pass.
And to be fair, the pass was poor as well, wasn't it?
Terrible. He can run the ball, but maybe his right to left pass isn't what he thought to be. Will this be up the jumper time for the Tigers now, Terry?
I think Castle just looked to open up again, Phil. They don't know how to play conservative rugby.
McShane, dummy half. Millington, Milner.
Well, I'm going to say it'll be this Saturday. It'll be a drop goal, either this one or the next one.
The drop goal caller King has departed the scene. In danger of taking over the mantle here.
I'm only giving you what you want.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. I have to be careful. Millington.
He's looked strong in this second half, hasn't he?
McShane. Back it comes, Ben Roberts. Confident run, finds Holmes. Holmes can't get the ball away though. Last one coming up.
No drop goal here. I'm retracting that.
McShane. I think, oh no, the referee says still the last. Roberts dabbed it through, and again Jowett, last line of defence, has been impressive tonight. He's taken over from Scott Griggs, hardly played in Super League, not been involved for the last 9, and hasn't he done well?
And you've seen when Scott Griggs has been on the pitch, he's been having a little word. When that kick was too strong, the Castleford players tipped it off the island. The first person, the person in the immediate vicinity was Scott Griggs. Got a lot of rookie league left in his legs yet, Scott Griggs, and has made a difference to the Wakefield Trinity side in 2017. But I think when Scott Griggs retires, I think he'll be a good coach as well. He understands the game.
Last quarter of this match. Miller. High. Hardacre watches it, comes out of the floodlights.
And you've got a big 10 minutes here now, Wakefield. It was a good tackle. Big 10 minutes now. Castleford scored a couple of back-to-back tries. They're on the right end of the scoreboard. Wakefield, yep, get the numbers in, make it nice and slow. And you can see they can't take the man to ground, which is, again, too quick. The likes of Greg Eden will come in, scoop going forward. Your forwards on the back of that.
Off goes Shenton.
10 metres again.
Now it's with Milner.
10 metres again, deliberate. There's a collision.
Yes, somebody's down. It's Danny Kermond.
Yeah, but that set of 6 was deliberate, without emotion, without taking into account the emotion. Danny Kermond, Terry O'Connor talked about the amount of times he puts his body on the line. He clashes heads, with, is it Anthony England?
Yeah, big Anthony England.
If there's anybody on the pitch, if you're going to clash heads, he's the last person you want to clash heads with.
Well, there's 2 of them down here with head injuries. They'll have to be, you would think, have to be assessed.
Is he split as well, Danny Kermond? Anthony England's back up onto his haunches anyway again. They're the ones that hurt you, the ones that you don't see.
This does become tough, doesn't it? To come from 12 behind now, they're probably going to have to take both of these players off the field. But, you know, what is interesting about this fixture is that there's a potential, Eddie, we could be back here in a few weeks' time in the playoffs. If the Wakefield side do force their way into 4th position and the Tigers end up in 1st, we would see this as another game. And I know the Wakefield side here, they haven't given this one up, but they certainly know that they've got some fight left in them here. Have they got any chance here? They need a dramatic breakaway try, an interception effort or something, just to get their team back in this, because they're too far away at present.
They've got the time. The time is on their side. Well, Powell knows that he's, 18 and a half minutes away from getting the first part of the job done.
Well, Stuart, surely if 2 players have clashed heads, even though one of them's cut and one of them isn't, Anthony England has left the pitch because of the head clash. Danny Kermond, although they're stemming the blood flow and trying to stop that, surely that's a head clash and both players should leave.
Well, they'll look to see if they're suffering signs of concussion first, and Anthony England's gone down. They showed the concussion card, so he'll be having the assessment. But they've obviously looked, I mean, the doctor's there with him. They'll have looked at Danny Kermond and decided that his injuries are just the cut and that he's fine to carry on. But he will have been assessed on the field by the medical team.
And the Anthony England withdrawal at the moment does not count because it's a concussion. It doesn't, like they say elsewhere, doesn't look crash hot, does he?
No.
He won't want to leave the field, though, will he, Danny Kermond?
No, he's a warrior. The reason I ask is, in these days when we're talking about player welfare and we're trying to protect players against themselves, I don't think he looks okay.
Well,
he might have been asked.
England is being assessed, as you see in the dressing room. He's a high kick anyway, but first mistake from Max Jowett. Yeah. First mistake tonight from young Max Jowett.
I know, well, that's the first one that he gets wrong, isn't it? You can see when he jumps for this ball, he doesn't get underneath the ball. He's reaching out. He's left the floor too early, and all of a sudden he's thinking, no, I'm in the wrong spot. Try and stretch my arms as far as I can.
But he needs to play, says Chris Chester. His last appearance was against Salford on the 4th of June. Well, they're in the mood for a party. No doubt about that. You know, when you think about... come back to that in a minute. Let's see how this goes. Roberts. Hardaker steps inside one. Can't get away from Miller. Mason Caton-Brown there as well. Hardaker wants to get on with it. Does so now to Webster. Roberts. Millington. Foster was the dummy runner. The ball never came. McShane. Roberts again. Webster! It's a hat-trick for Jake Webster! And it's the league leader's shield for Castleford, I think. He's just signed a one-year extension to his deal as the former New Zealand international at 33 years of age. He doesn't show any sign of aging, that's for sure. And he's got a hat-trick in this, the Tigers' most important night in 91 years of history.
An astute signing, only Jake Webster from Hull KR. He's been absolutely excellent all year. The mistake from Jowett, that's the first mistake he's made all night. He just gets the jump wrong, he doesn't position himself underneath that ball. And again they go to the right edge here with Ben Roberts. Ben Roberts knows what he's got on the outside of him. If he goes at the line, a no-look pass, gives it to Jake Webster, who picks his line, runs in between two Wakefield defenders. Look at that. He gets rid of Jacob Miller. Mason Caton-Brown is just stood planting his feet, and there's the Cas fans now starting to celebrate. A nervous time for them, though, wasn't it, in the second half early on?
It was, and Wakefield have taken them all the way. We've just seen Jake Webster's first try for Darryl Powell's Castleford, his first hat-trick of tries for Castleford, his first hat-trick in 11 years. His last came for Melbourne Storm in 2006 against the West Tigers. What a night to pick to score your first ever hat-trick for Castleford. Here's Luke Gale with the opportunity to increase the lead by 2. Yes, no problems for Luke Gale, and I don't think too many problems looming for Castleford from here on in. There it is, the Betfred Super League League Leaders Shield 2017, and I think it might have found a home here at the Jungle.
He said that Jake Webster's last hat-trick was for the Melbourne Storm. You know what? If he continues scoring in that manner and the side continue to play the way they have, he might very well go on to play the Melbourne Storm here. Back in the for the World Club Challengers. Millington now shoots down the right side.
They've not finished yet.
Eddie's really stepped up, hasn't he? I think a lot of the cast backs will be really happy with the way that he's played and turned out in his second half.
Milner now for Castleford centre field. McShane. Foster again. He's played the last 10, Alex Foster. Began his career at Leeds, arrived via the London Broncos.
Eddie's a hard-working player, Alex Foster, but I think you can say that about every player in this Castleford team. They work hard for each other, they work hard on their own individual game, and again they're working hard for these fans.
Here we go! There it is! Luke Gale!
I told you!
Luke Gale's drop goal. His 7th drop goal of the season.
Eddie, just cast your mind back. I said on the 64th minute, Luke Gale will drop back into the pocket and drop a goal. I'm pretty sure that's what I said.
There or thereabouts, you did.
But that's the intelligence of that man, isn't it? He just sits behind, he'll read what's in front of him, he knows what's happening on the clock. He knows that now it's 19 points in front, which means that Cass have got to score 4 tries. Wakefield have got to score 4 tries, sorry.
And that was the 26th drop goal of his career, Luke Gale. They just keep this ball alive at every opportunity, and Millington again with a good run. Let's get down to the sideline and Bill.
Eddie, we've already remarked tonight on what a competitor Danny Kermond is in the colours of Wakefield Trinity. He's shown it again tonight. He is one determined player. He was determined to stay on the field, even though Wakefield's Dr. Patrick Tongue insisted that he had to come off after that clash of heads. We saw Anthony England go off. Kermond insisted that he was okay, and it took some discussion between him and the doctor for Danny Kermond to actually be persuaded to leave the field, which he has done now, as has Sam Williams, who's off with what looks like a dead leg. So Wakefield with a lot of rugby to play this season with 1 or 2 injury problems.
They have Gale's crossfield kick straight into the arms of Ben Jones-Bishop. Stuart, what about the protocol of the Danny Kermond substitution now? It wasn't as a result of the head clash. He came later on. He didn't go directly off the field. Where do they stand now with their subs?
Well, they've still got 2 players on the free interchange for 15 minutes being assessed.
Even though he didn't go off?
Even though he didn't go off. It's
immediately after?
He's still having the head concussion test.
And that's a great decision again. Sometimes you've got to protect these players from themselves. Sometimes, if I'm honest, they go down a little bit too easy and stay down a little bit too easy, but not on that occasion.
But I was just wondering if, because he stayed on after the head clash and they said, I'm all right, I wonder whether that was negated.
No, it's a similar thing. It's different to when a free interchange after foul play. It's got to be at the instant. But as soon as a doctor or a physio assesses somebody and says they need to have the concussion test, to go off and it takes place from there.
Fair enough. As long as we all know where we're up to. 13 minutes to go. I'm sure that Darryl Powell and co know exactly that. I'd just like to clear it up for our viewers tonight. Miller, good hands.
Good
Here's Jowett. Tupu. A few of these Wakefield players, they don't really deserve to be on the losing side, not on the wrong end of a scoreline like this.
Nice little switch play, wasn't it, from Wakefield?
Miller into centre to Hubie. This is Keegan Hurst. He's surrounded. The referee shouts hell just as he was about to offload the ball. Hadley finds Finn. Short ball then to Arona. Great tackle, Shenton. On the last, that's the turnover. Wonderful tackle from Michael Shenton.
Well, you've got to work really hard to break down Castleford. Wakefield have scored 16 points. In the middle, they're strong. On the edges, they're really strong. I've been very impressed with Wakefield over the last couple of weeks. They're still with a fighting chance, even if they lose this game, of making that top 4. The battle's on.
And they're not going to give it up, Wakefield. But, you know, it's worth making the point that when Darryl Powell took over here in May 2013, this club was in meltdown. They were bottom of the table, and his first win came at the Magic in Manchester that year. They beat Wakefield, funnily enough, by 49 points to 24. Hasn't he turned the Castleford Tigers round since he's moved in here?
He's phenomenal coach. Played with him, played against him, knew what he was like. He was an out-and-out winner as a player. Played for Sheffield and to represent Great Britain, really an unfancy club. And that's with no disrespect to Sheffield. That man was absolutely tremendous in a Great Britain jersey.
I'm sure he'll be the first to share some of that praise with his assistant coach. Assistant coach is Danny Orr, who's running the messages on in the yellow t-shirt, and Ryan Sheridan, his right-hand man.
Here's Webster for number 4, and Webster gets over for his 4th try of the night. It is Webster's night. It is Castleford's night. They go into the semi-finals, top of the pile. A home semi to come here in about 5 or 6 weeks' time, and the big prize, a place at Old Trafford, and the grand final on October the 7th. Jake Webster, 4 tries. What a night for him. What a night for Castleford. What a season for the Castleford Tigers.
Well, you can trace that try all the way back to the left centre, the defensive work of the left centre, Michael Shenton. And his right centre, his comrade, is on hand. Can't believe he's looked with his eyes wide open. With a line at his mercy, all he has to do is keep his balance, find the line, find his front and get the ball down.
Look at the work from Ben Roberts. Again, he goes at the line. He's isolating defenders. All of a sudden, you don't know whether Ben Roberts is going to give it the old shove and go and take it on himself. No, he gives it to Mike McMeekan, the big, powerful back rower out wide here on the right, who then in turn gets through the line, tips it onto that man. 4 tries. And as I said, Eddie, what a tremendous signing from Hull KR. Jake Webster has been
fantastic signing for Hull KR. And here they are, the 4 tries that Webster scored. There's the first, here's the second. Opportunism there, here's the hat-trick. All took some scoring, he had to break through defenders, and he's on the end of that pass, and there's 4.
And without being unkind to Jake Webster, none of them are pretty. He has to catch the ball under pressure.
He speaks well of you, Barry, by the way.
But
Gale has missed.
He'll be happy that they all count. They all give his kicker, Luke Gale, an opportunity to turn 4 into 6. But it's Biff, Barge, hard work, and the tough edge that he has when he's running the ball and defending is matched by Michael Shenton.
Well, Darryl Powell, Ryan Sheridan, I wonder if they're saying we'd better give Luke Gale a little bit of kicking practice during the course of this week. It'll be very interesting to see now how Darryl manipulates his troops over the next 4 rounds as they approach this home semi-final that they will get. Meanwhile, Hardaker claims that the ball was stolen from him. The referee sees it another way. Ashurst to Hadley. And Liam Finn, the ball went backwards. This is Rhys Lynn. Rhys Lynn trying to extricate himself from this swarming Tigers defence. 9 minutes to go. 9 minutes from being crowned league leaders 2017. Fifita for Wakefield. Won't give it up easily, won't give in, despite the fact that they are so far behind on the scoreboard. Trying to show character. Keegan Hurst gets it away. Hadley likewise. Finn, though, has to retreat. Lost a little bit of ground there. Wide now to Lynn. Lynn drops the ball down behind him. It's still behind him. And Ben Jones-Bishop. And look at that from Holmes and McShane.
Tigerish defence from Castleford.
Arona.
Tigers have shown us they can attack. You know, this club has waited over 90 years here now. They've got 9 minutes to show us they can defend here now.
This is Miller. Over the top it goes. This is Bill Tupou, a little slip. Gets the ball away, and Jowett gets over for the try for Wakefield. A little bit of consolation maybe with 8 minutes remaining, but Jowett marks his return to the side with his first try in Super League this year. Just has calmed things down a bit on the terraces.
Well, he deserves this, doesn't he? Young Max Jowett. He's been very good at the bat, and Wakefield still not giving this game up. You've got to support your teammate. When the ball goes away from you, you've got to work hard from the inside. Craig Hubie at the line. Jacob Miller over the top, and Tupou does ever so well to get back, regather his feet and offload the ball to that man, Max Jowett. You think that they've got some injuries as well, as Liam Finn's just looking to get another 2 points here.
It's Liam Finn. He's not had the best night with his boots. Hold on, he continues for Liam Finn. Well, if Darryl Powell's thinking of having some kicking practice for his kicker, I think Chris Chester and John Keir might do the same this week for Liam Finn.
There's some cause for hope for Wakefield, isn't there? Man for man, there's been some top performers. I think Keegan Hurst has had his best game in a Wakefield shirt this evening. Bill Tupou was partly responsible for the offload. There's Anthony England rejoining the action.
Well, he's coming back on, so let's get some news of the walking wounded for Wakefield. Bill?
Anthony England just come back out on the field after his concussion assessment. Jake Webster looking for a 5th. And this Castleford Tigers performance, this big night for the club, being enjoyed by a massive crowd here. The joint is rocking. In fact, 1 or 2 parts of it are creaking, I think. But being enjoyed home and abroad. And I know that the former Man of Steel and the former Castleford Tigers legend Adrian Vowles is watching this and enjoying every moment as his former club move towards this historic night.
Yes, it is historic, Will, you're right. And we often laud the fact that they have so many different winners of the competition down under in Australia in the NRL. Let me tell you that Castleford in 2017 become the 6th different club in the last 6 years to win the League Leaders Shield. This is Max Jowett. It was 2012 Wigan, 2013 Huddersfield, 2014 Saints, 2015 Leeds, 2016 Warrington, 2017 it's Castleford, and amongst those, Leeds and Saints in 14 and 15, they went on to win the grand final. Can Castleford do exactly the same?
And Eddie, on top of that, they're also doing some terrific work underneath the first team. Pete Riding, the head of youth, is doing a sterling job. They came second to Wigan in the under-9s competition, or the under-19s competition. They have a home match tomorrow evening against Hull here at the Jungle, and Pete Riding has asked me to say, if anybody wants to see more of the same, come and see the next breed tomorrow evening.
Okie dokie, well, I'm sure you'll do that, Barry. You won't bother with Leeds and Saints.
I'll be busy. The good people of Castleford I'm talking to.
I know you are. Oh, Roberts has cut through them. Here is Hardacre. Second try for Zach Hardacre. And just a little bit of icing on the Castleford Tigers' cake. 43 points to 20. Top scorers in Super League by a country mile in 2017. Young and old, they love the rugby that this team has played this year. And the Tigers have got a home semi-final. We knew that anyway, but they have a home semi-final from pole position. They will take the team that finishes fourth here at the Jungle in those semi-finals, and Old Trafford will be at the end of the rainbow.
Well, it's been classy Cass, hasn't it, in the second half, and the man who's got the ball has been absolutely superb. The way that he goes at the line, yet again, he shapes to pass that ball. He runs at the defensive line, and any player that carries the ball in two hands, they're going to pass the ball. Jacob Miller, he falls for that dummy. He thinks and he's anticipating that pass from Ben Roberts. As soon as he goes through that line with that show and go, he's got that man on the inside to support him and score the try.
The thing that's really evident to me is the unselfish nature of these Castleford Tigers players. Obviously, when they score a try, it's common for players to come in and congratulate, but there's a genuine feeling between one another. Ben Roberts, he has two players to choose from. The player that he chooses is Zach Hardacre, but everybody floods forward to congratulate the fullback, and the unselfish nature, they're delighted to see whatever try scorer get over the line, and they share that together.
Well, here is Luke Gale. Paul McShane almost pinched the goal-kicking responsibilities away from him, wound him up, but Luke Gale makes no mistake with that one, and it's 45 points to 20.
Well, all the best rugby league teams over the last 100 years have had a brilliant combination of halfbacks, a scrum half and a standoff, who do different things, add different aspects to the side. Luke Gale organises play, throws great passes and puts in wonderful kicks, but Ben Roberts is that running option. So you've got the 6 and the 7 who can hurt you in two different ways, and you've shown that perfectly here tonight and for the majority of this season.
It's the speed that they've got as well. You look at the likes of Mike McMeekin here. He ramps up, he goes at the line, he's very strong and aggressive. And then Paul McShane at the back of the ruck. Excellent. Just look at what they've got to play at here. Everyone puts their hands up, whether you're in good ball or bad ball. They'll all be there, they're all options.
Well, here we go. We have 3 minutes to go, and we have the man of the moment with us here on the gantry, Darryl Powell, the Castleford Tigers coach. Darryl, many congratulations. The job is done. Well, it's half done now.
Oh, yeah, obviously it's been a tough game today. We looked pretty nervous today, I thought, particularly in the first half, which is understandable. But our second half performance has been really good, and we've perhaps relaxed a little bit now with this out of the way, and we can move on to what's going to be some more really tough challenges moving forward.
Well, you're in the wonderful position that you've won the League Leaders' Shield the first time in 91 years history of this club. How proud do you feel right now?
Oh, it's hard to explain, really. It's been the culmination of 4 years hard work from a lot of people. Coaching staff are unbelievable. Support that I've got from the club, everybody's just been awesome. So yeah, I couldn't be any prouder of what we've done over this whole season. It's been an awesome effort from everybody.
It has. When you came here 4 years ago, they were bottom of the table. The club was going nowhere. It was in meltdown. Look where you are now. Your favourites obviously, to get to Old Trafford because you've got a home semi-final.
Yeah, we'll be one game away, but we want to create some momentum. We're in a good place. Our under-19s, for example, are playing tomorrow. They finished second in the competition, so there's a real depth of quality across the club in every position. So I'm so proud of what we've achieved, but we've got more work to do, and we won't be sitting on our backsides doing nothing.
I'm sure you won't. Darryl, it's been a pleasure watching you this year. Thanks for joining us here tonight and sharing the last couple of minutes of this with us, and congratulations from all of us here.
And the lads say you don't smile. Go on, just give us one little smile, Darryl. You've won the League Leaders Shield, you've got a prep one. There you go.
But you've never coached, have you?
Well, I don't know why, because he's no hair. At least you've got some, he's got none. Darryl, brilliant. Thank you very much. Fantastic. A great season, and let's see how it goes now in those playoffs. There we are, Darryl Powell, coach of the League Leaders 2017. They have the silverware in the bag.
Let's not forget, it's his dream job, isn't it? Didn't have it all his own way when he was given the job at Leeds Rhinos. He had to go away, rediscover himself. He was given the opportunity at Featherstone. Now he's at Castleford, and you look what he's achieved.
And they have been great to watch all year. They really have.
Oh, they've been the entertainers, Eddie.
They have. I think they're everybody's favourite second team.
Yeah,
probably not Wakefield tonight, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but I'm sure Chris Chester will give them a big pat on the back for what they have achieved.
Yes, and they, Wakefield, have still got work to do, very much so, between now and the end of the season. Listen, them counting down to the Shield. Castleford topped the pile in 2017, and they have the golden opportunity to go all the way to Old Trafford. And there's the smile. There's the smile we've waited for tonight. They can now relax. And he was indicating there that there will be no let-up in the momentum. None whatsoever.
Well, I'm not surprised, Eddie. You said there have been 6 different winners of the Shield over the last 6 years. 3 of those 6 sides didn't make it to the grand final. And that's the danger, isn't it, with celebrating too soon. It's a wonderful achievement for the club, and I'm delighted. This club's got a tremendous history to it, and it's got a wonderful feel, a welcoming, a warmth about it. And they deserve the success that they've had here for the way they've played and their honesty and their hard work. They're fully rewarded here, well supported. A great boost for the town and the community. And I think what stands out for me when you look at the squad of players is so many of them weren't first choice picks. They weren't instant successes as teenagers. They sometimes had to drift from one club to another. They were given a second chance, and maybe that's affected their attitude and their application. It's been a wonderful season for them.
Well, it's a night for backslapping for Darryl Powell. He's trying to make his way down through this crowd. And as I say, every time he leaves the dressing room on the far side, comes over here, they cheer him to the rafters, and they will cheer him and his team to the rafters between now and the end of the season. Well, he'll be delighted with this fellow. Jake Webster's 4 tries, has won in the Betfred Super League Man of the Match award. He's talking to Bill.
Jake, congratulations. I think you want to beat bigger one of those, don't you?
Yeah, been waiting for this all year. Not this, the other one. I think the boys deserve it tonight, and it's been a great performance.
Your first hat-trick over here, your first for 11 years, I think.
Yeah, it is.
What a night to get it.
I know.